I'm Shanika Center. I'm the virtual content specialist for middle school science for multilingual learners and English language learners. This is the second of 3 videos for the lessons of the week of May 17th. This lesson is going to be a student-facing lesson or student-facing video that helps students determine their carbon footprint using the quiz provided or the survey provided on day 4's lesson. Hi, I'm Shanika Center. I'm a virtual content specialist for middle school science for English language learners and multilingual learners. Today, we are going to determine our carbon footprint using an online survey. This is for the activity in day 4. Before we get started, let's review some vocabulary. So this whole lesson, you are going to be determining your carbon footprint. So what is your carbon footprint? Your carbon footprint is how much carbon dioxide you put into the atmosphere each year. Your carbon footprint is determined by looking at a variety of things. So your waste, how much you travel, how much electricity you use, how much gas you use, what type of energy you use, all help determine your carbon footprint and how much carbon you are releasing into the atmosphere. Next lesson, we're going to explore what it means to release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere and why that is a bad thing. But today we're going to figure out what is our carbon footprint. So we're going to use a really cool survey that automatically calculates our carbon footprint. So it does take about 5 minutes to complete, but there are some vocabulary words and questions that are a little bit confusing. So I'm going to go through each of the questions and help you break down some of the vocabulary words. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is type in your name. And then you're going to put in if you are male, female, robot, or other. And then you're going to start calculating. So again, the carbon footprint is measuring carbon dioxide equivalents, which take into consideration the different greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, nitric oxides, methane, and that all have different global warming effects. So basically, this is going to calculate how much you contribute to global warming. So the first set of questions are going to be about your house. So we're going to look at this slide here. So some things you need to know: house, that's for most of us, that's where we live. It can be an apartment, it can be a mobile home, it could be a condo, but basically where you live. And then your bedroom is where typically there's a bed. So you can have a bedroom with your parents, you can have a bedroom with your siblings, you can have your own bedroom. It just depends on the size of your house and the type of house that you have. So bedroom, where there's a bed. So you're just going to mark how large is your home? How many bedrooms do you have? Then question 2 is asking about what type of house do you have? Is it an apartment, a detached house, which means it just stands alone by itself? Is it a semi-attached house, or is it a set of houses together? Apartment building and terraced houses are pretty similar. In New York, we usually have apartment buildings, apartment housing, or semi-detached housing. So once you figure that out, click your answer, press OK, and we'll go to the next one. This question: when was your house built? So when was the house constructed or put together? If you don't know some of the answers, you can put I don't know. A lot of them have that option. My house is very old, so 1940. What heating source does your building use? So there's a bunch of different heating sources. You can use heating oil, natural gas, or electric heaters. Most homes in New York City use either heating oil or natural gas. Some people do also use electric heaters if the house doesn't get warm enough through these 2 methods. If you are unsure, you can put don't know. My house is really bad. It uses heating oil. Okay, does your home have air conditioning? So air conditioning, we're probably all very familiar with air conditioning because it gets very hot in New York City. You can have a window AC or the wall AC or central AC. So you're going to just say yes, yes or no. You don't have to specify which type. Press OK. Does the building have its own electricity generating system? So are there solar panels on the roof? Solar panels look like this. Many buildings are starting to get solar panels, but if your building does not have it, you could just put no. My apartment does not have it, so no. Oh, I didn't click it. Does your household use fossil fuel electricity? So fossil fuel electricity is a renewable resource, fossil fuel free. So that's solar, hydro, wind, tidal, geothermal, biomass. Typically, you would only use solar, but you may live in a really cool building that has a lot of different options. I do not, so I put no. Are you actively trying to reduce your electricity consumption? So for example, do you turn off your lamps or run the washing machines and dishwashers that are eco-friendly? So essentially this question is asking, do you turn your lights and electronics off? I'm really bad at that. I try to, but I always forget. But I am definitely trying. I'm really bad at that and I always forget, but I'm definitely trying. So I put yes. How many adults aged 18 or over live in your household? So adults are just older people. The next question is asking about children, people under 18. The next question is asking about pets. So the next question is asking about children, people under 18, babies. And then the next question asking about pets, so cats, dogs. I don't have any children, so I put no. And I don't have any pets, so I also put no. The next question is asking, do you have a second property? So like a summer home, a cottage, place you go on vacation, and there's a house there for you. But no, so great. So that finished part 1 of 3. So then we're gonna they're gonna ask us questions about our traveling habits. So basically where we go on vacation and how we get there. So first question, how many flights do you take per year? So a flight is a plane, going on a plane. So these questions are all going to ask you about different lengths of flights. Question 13A is going to ask about domestic flights, which are less than 2 hours. Then it's going to ask you about your longer flights, the ones that are 2 to 6. So this is if you go to California, Texas, Florida, the DR, or Puerto Rico. These are all within this category of 2 to 6 hours. And then international, so which is more than 6 hours. So say you have family in Nigeria and you go visit them once a year, this would be under this category. So you would then be going on an international flight that's more than 6 hours. So it's just going to ask you how many flights, no flights, max 1 trip, so on and so forth.